So today's Q&A question is, what's better, machine-based training or free weights? And my answer to that is it really depends on what your goals are, first of all, but the major difference between the two modalities is that with machine-based weight training, it's on a fixed axis, which means that in terms of having to stabilize your joints while you're moving it, it can only move in one particular direction, which means that all the little joint stabilizers, say for instance, if we were doing a shoulder press, all the joint stabilizers can pretty much go to sleep because the movement can only go straight up, straight down, which means that the major muscle groups, the prime movers, are going to be doing all the work. Now, from a strength and size perspective, and more so even a size perspective, you can actually build better size from that. But when we're talking about a more functional movement, if you want to be strong in a sport or just in your everyday life, or have strength that's going to carry over to your everyday life, free weight training is much, much better. So if we use the example of the shoulder press again, particularly if we're using dumbbells, for instance, all the stabilizer muscles around the joints and the shoulders are going to have to work because they have to stabilize those weights in a three-dimensional plane of gravity, which means that the weights could go forwards, backwards, sideways, left, right, all over the place. So those muscles are working really hard to stabilize the joints as the prime movers are working. Also, from an injury perspective, if you're wanting to reduce the risk of being injured in a sport or some activity of that nature, you're much better off developing strength with free weights because you're going to build that stabilizer control and strength as well. Whereas if you're wanting to just purely build size, then machines are fine, or potentially a combination between the two. But the other issue is that with machine-based weight training, and that's why you see it a lot in gyms, with machines, it's quite easy to get the movement correct because it can only go up and down, so it's a little bit more simple. Whereas as a personal trainer myself, we do all free weights because we're able to coach the person through the proper technique. So with the free weights, it's easier to make mistakes and do the technique wrong. But if you have someone there, or if you're knowledgeable yourself to know what the proper technique is, then free weights are much better in my opinion.